Alright, we are today doing our Unit 2 notes topic, and this is topic number 1 in our Unit 2. Okay, so make sure you're using the correct packet. And our first topic is just on graphing in the coordinate plane, and this should be a review for most of you guys, how to graph in the coordinate plane. We're going to start with some important vocabulary. So, we can plot different points on this is called a coordinate plane. And a coordinate plane is just this whole area over here that has an axis and an area that we can plot points. So another name for a point that we plot is called a coordinate point, or a coordinate pair, sorry. And it's called a pair because it has two numbers, an x and a y. Alright, so the coordinate plane right here. The coordinate plane is made up of two axes, and they meet at a very special point. So let's look at our coordinate plane. Here's one axis, goes up and down. Here's the other that goes left and right. And this right here is the point that they meet. That has a special name. It's called the origin. And the location of the origin is 0, 0, if you want to write that in as well. Alright, and now we're going to talk about the two different axes. So it says, fill in the blank, which axis runs up and down. So that's this one right here, up and down. That is the y axis. I'm going to go up here and label that axis with a y. And then the other axis that runs left and right, that's this one. That is the x axis. That runs left and right. I'm going to label that with an x up here. Alright, and then lastly, the coordinate plane is divided into 4 quadrants. Bad handwriting, that's a D. And so we have 4 different quadrants, and where they are is depending on where they are in comparison to, remember, our origin is right in the middle. So, the first quadrant, I'm going to write here quadrant 1. Roman numeral 1, is in the upper right corner. So in my graph on the top right, I'm going to put a number 1 and circle it. That's quadrant 1. Next it says which quadrant is in the upper left. That is quadrant 2. I'm going to use just Q for quadrant. Quadrant 2. And these are in Roman numerals. So I'm going to put a 2 up here and circle it. The lower left corner, that's right here, lower left, is quadrant 3. So I'm going to write Q3. 1, 2, 3, Roman numerals. And again, I'm going to put 1, 2, 3 and circle it. And then quadrant 4, Roman numerals, is in the lower right. So this is quadrant 4. So when you're done, your graph up here, you should have the quadrants labeled, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and your axes labeled. Alright, so some more vocab. Alright, now we're going to talk about each coordinate. And we're going to start with the coordinate x, y. Alright, so the x-coordinate tells us how far left or right we move from the origin. The y-coordinate tells us how far up or down we move from the origin. So in this first example, our x-coordinate comes first, it's -2. So that tells us, now think about starting at the origin, that tells us that we move 1, 2, 2 left. Now look at the y-coordinate over there, it's +3. Now the y-coordinate tells me how far I move up or down. So that means I keep my pencil here at -2 and I go 1, 2, 3, up. And I'm left with point P right there. So if you think about on your x-axis, you made it to -2. On your y-axis, you made it to +3. Alright, now we're just going to practice some things on here. So it says to try this on your own. So if you want to pause the video and try it, just make sure that you restart the video and check your answers when you're done. Alright, so the answers for this, it says plot the point -2, 3 with a star. So I'm going to plot -2, 3. -2 is my x, +3 is my y. -2, 3 should be right here, and I'm going to put a star there. Next, I'm going to check this off, I did that. Next it says circle the x-axis. X-axis runs left and right. So I'm going to put a circle around the entire x-axis. Next it says draw an arrow pointing to the origin. So let's locate the origin. The origin is right where the axes meet, so right here. I'm just going to draw a big arrow pointing at the origin. I'm also going to label the origin as 0, 0. Check that off. Alright, below here it says write the coordinates of point F. So let's find point F right here. On the x-axis, starting at the origin, F is -1 units from the x-axis, so that's -1. And it is +1, 2 units up. So -1, +2. Next, write the coordinates of point C. Point C, right here, go back to the origin. It's to the right 1, so that means that it's a +1. And it is down 2 units, so that means it's -2. Alright, what is the x-coordinate of point C? So we already found point C up here. The x-coordinate is the first coordinate, that's 1. So the x-coordinate is 1. What is the y-coordinate of point F? So let's look at point F. We already found it. The y-coordinate is the second coordinate. It's 2. Put a box around quadrant 3. So look back at your notes if you need a reminder, but my quadrants are 1, top right, 2, top left, 3, bottom left. So put a box around this. I'm just going to go like this. Put a big box there. Check that off. And then lastly, write quadrant 2 in the appropriate space. And I actually just did that. So you should have 2 written right here in the appropriate space in the top left. Alright, we're done for Unit 2, just a little vocab review. So you guys should be doing homework number 1 in your unit. Oh, wait, hold on, wrong unit. On your Unit 2 packet. Alright, good luck.